League of Legends will never be balanced. Let's face it, with 160 champions and counting in the game, there will always be problem children. And with more and more, shall we say, creative designs nowadays, League's oldest champions seem to become relics of a different time period. Today, we'll be discussing why recent reworks have been so great for the game, and also explaining why there aren't so many more of them. And so without further ado, let's dive into it. For the sake of this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 of League's most recent VGU reworks and see how Riot's current philosophy is put into place today when reworking our old favorite champions. Riot's goal with these most recent reworks comes down to 2 words: modernize and preserve. The latter word, of course, being a little bit of a point of debate for 2 certain bruiser reworks. The most recently fully reworked champions have been Mundo, Volibear, and Fiddlesticks, all of which were modernized and removed some cheese and incredibly one-dimensional gameplay. At the same time, however, they're still reminiscent of the old champions they once were. Fiddlesticks can still silence you and use a giant AoE, Volibear still runs fast at you and rips you apart with his massive claws, and Mundo is still throwing cleavers, tanking the fountain turret, and committing tax fraud. And I feel like for the most part, the League community would say these have been pretty successful reworks. And I personally swore by never touching Dr. Mundo, and now he's one of my go-to tanks. And champs like Volibear and Fiddlesticks still play like the original versions, but also aren't so annoying to play against. So naturally, this raises a pretty valid question. If reworks are so successful, then why doesn't Riot do more of them?
Hello! I like money!
Reworks don't really match the same level of hype as a new champion does, which makes sense. After all, new champions come with 4 new abilities, or every ability and passive in the game, instead of 4 rebuilt ones. Plus, let's address the elephant in the room. Hot anime champions sell a lot better than champions who've been reworked recently. An obvious exception being Fiddlesticks, of course, because man, if you don't have a wheel for a leg, don't even talk to me. Jokes aside, something completely new is often a lot more exciting than something old that's been touched up. For example, this is the Google Trends graph showing Mundo's rework and Akshan's release. And I understand it's far less profitable to rework Mundo than it is to release Hot Anime Champion number 222. But this financial drive to pump out new, exciting, and somewhat overloaded champions creates a big problem, and it's the reason why I even wanted to make this video in the first place. Recent reworks have fixed problems, and recent champions have created new ones. And let's just say the rate of new champions is a lot higher than the rate of reworks. Also, my birthday was a couple of days ago, and if you want to celebrate me getting around the sun one more time, you can also drop a subscription. Anyways, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, so let's share some final thoughts. The good news is, Riot has seemed to tone down the intensity of their champions recently. And while they aren't perfect, they're certainly showing signs of improvement, so let's hope that stays the case. And thankfully, we can say pretty much the same thing for reworks, because for a time, Riot had a little bit too much caffeine in their morning coffee. And so let's really hope this trend continues, because champions like Nocturne, Shyvana, and Tryndamere exist in the same game as champions like Akshan. Like, what the?